Hey everyone, ready to cook along with me today to make this really good salad. So there used to be a cafe in Bondi years ago called Blue Orange in Hall Street, Bondi, and they used to have this chicken salad which we all loved, and so I never got the actual recipe, but this is what we think it was, and it's a fantastic combination of baby rocket leaves, grilled or fried chicken, pear, feta, with walnuts and a lemon and olive oil dressing, and it's just so delicious. Now, if you don't want to do the cheese and the meat thing together, then you can just leave the chicken out and make it a feta salad, or you can leave the cheese out and make it a chicken salad. So the options are there for you. Okay, so this is what you're going to need. Some fresh baby rocket leaves, and this is my serving bowl, but I'm actually going to toss it in a big bowl. So I've got both ready. Okay, I'm just going to set that aside for now, and I'm going to set that aside for now. We're going to need some chicken thigh fillets. I find them so much more forgiving than a breast, especially when you're doing a salad. You can marinate them, you can char grill or fry them off in a pan, and they just retain their moisture because they've got that little bit of extra fat in it, which is also delicious. Actually, why don't I just marinate them now before I start talking, then they can have a little bit of extra time. So I've got my favourite Dijon mustard, just a teaspoon in there. Pop that away. A bit of lemon juice. And a bit of olive oil. I'm just going to give that a mix together. And I'm just going to put a bit of salt in as well. Some pepper. And I'm just going to pour that over the chicken. And you can massage it in with your hands, but I'm just going to leave that for the moment while I get on to the rest. Okay, so we've got our chicken marinating. You're going to need 1 large brown onion, 1 pear, some feta cheese, some walnuts, and make sure your walnuts are fresh, and the only way to tell if they're fresh is to eat it. Yum. They are the quickest nut to go rancid, which means bitter. So what I like to do is to keep my walnuts in the fridge, always, in a jar, like this, and then they always stay fresh. All right, let's start. We'll start by slicing the onion, and for this recipe, I want the onion, sliced rather than chopped, and I'll show you what I mean. So, yuck, I'm going to get another one. Lucky I had a spare. So I'm just going to cut off the ends. I'm going to peel it. Let's get rid of this. How you cut your onion is really important. So for this, I want a wide slice, okay, because we want the onion texture. I don't want it chopped into little pieces. I want to really feel that we're eating onion. So I'm just going to slice it like that to concentrate. You know I'm concentrating when I stop talking. Okay, so that's it done. And I'm going to use a frying pan like this. I'm going to cook it in the back of my stove because I want the chicken in the front. No, I'm actually going to do it the other way around. Don't you like the way I'm just thinking on my feet today? Not. Let's do it this way. Okay, so I'm going to cook it here because the chicken spits a bit and spatters, so I want it away from me, okay? So I'm going to put in a bit of olive oil, just going to sort of coat the bottom of the pan. Okay, and as soon as that heats up, I'm going to put the onion in, and I'm going to give it a toss, and I'm going to put the lid on and let it just cook because I want it to cook through as well as to start to go golden on the outside. Then we will get to the chicken. got another pan ready, which is going to be for the chicken, which we can also start now. So again, heat on at the back. I'm going to start hot. I want it to be a hot pan. Doesn't need any oil in there because I've got some oil in the chicken and they're quite fatty anyway. All right. So that needs to heat up because when the chicken goes in, I want it to sizzle, okay? If it doesn't sizzle, I have failed. I have failed you and I have failed me, okay? It's got to sizzle. The pan has to be hot. I want to get a gorgeous brown outside. You know, that caramelization is flavour, flavour, flavour. It's the most important part. Okay, so this is getting to be warm. I can feel it. We want to sizzle. I know pressure. No. Just have to wait. Yeah. Okay, that's going to sizzle. Let me just get a wooden spoon. Nope. Nope. My drawer is just such a mess today. It is not funny. All right. Okay, onion is going in. Just going to add a tiny bit of salt to the onion as it's cooking. Just feel it adds to the flavour. And now I'm going to put the lid on. It's on medium-high, and I can just sit for a few minutes while I get to the chicken. I'm cooking at the same time because let's have this dinner ready in 20 minutes. All right. Okay, so this has to be hot before I want the chicken to go in. All right, so let's just smush those around a bit in the marinade, which I did not do. And you can marinate that chicken, you know, a couple of hours ahead. Absolutely. Doesn't have to be done at the last minute. All right, let's see how we go. I always like to do, see on the chicken thigh fillet, there's like a smooth side and then there's the side where the bone was. I like to cook it smooth side down, just so you get that lovely brownness, because that's the best brown you're going to get the first sear. You hear that? 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I don't want to turn the chicken till it's really brown. Then I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to turn the temperature down. At the moment it's on high. My onions are starting to really cook. And they can keep going. Now, while they're going, and I hope you can hear me all right with that sizzling chicken, I'm going to start the rest of the ingredients. So the only other thing we really need to deal with is the pear. And as a rule in my house, and people who have been with me through all the videos I've done know that the green board is for onion and garlic only, and I will never chop anything on it that I don't want to taste like onion or garlic. But because we're putting this pear in a salad with onion, I don't mind if it's got an onion flavour, and that's absolutely fine. So for this recipe only, it's okay to do. So I'm going to cut the pear. I'm leaving the skin on. I've got a green pear. It's quite firm, which is what I want, because if it's soft, it's just going to mush all through your salad. And I'm going to take the core out. And I'm just going to slice it. Not too thin. Last night I made this for the kids for dinner and Danny, and I sliced half a pear and left it on the board, and when I came back I was doing something else, they'd of course eaten the pear from the board. So always, the moral of the story is always slice more pear than you need, because it's very hard to not eat it. I might slice it all. Okay. It's delicious. I haven't had pear for a long time. Very good. All right. Just giving that a little bit of a move around. It's starting to really get brown. I'm going to turn it down a bit now to medium. Okay, it's cooking really nicely. Now the onions are getting quite dark, some of them, so I'm going to turn this down a bit to, it was just above medium, now it's really medium. Normally I cook my onions with the lid off, interestingly, but this time, because I don't want them to spatter all over me, I've got the lid on and they're doing quite nicely. Have a look. I don't know if you can see them. I want to show you. Okay. I want them golden brown. I really want them golden brown for this salad. Okay, that's down on medium or just under. The chicken's going nicely. It's nearly ready to turn, but not quite. I'll show you what we're up to. Just needs a little bit more golden. Not quite there yet. Okay, I'll keep going. Back to the pear. I think I was saying how delicious pear is and how I forget how delicious pear is. I probably cut my first half too thick, so I'm going to do this a bit thinner and I'll just eat the first half. So this is for 2 people, this recipe, but for a dinner, like it's a substantial dinner for 2 people. You could also add some avocado. You could add some potatoes if you wanted to make it a proper substantial dinner, but this is also great just as it is. So my pear is done. I don't want it to go brown, so I'm going to do a bit of lemon juice on top of the pear just while it sits there and waits for me. We'll set the pear aside. I've got my feta ready to crumble, but you know, to save time, I'm going to just crumble it now, because I'm going to throw it over the salad. And if this is not enough feta for this amount of salad for you, then feel free to add some more. I could probably do with a little more than I've got. Okay, feta's ready to go. One sec. Okay. I've got my walnuts ready. Now, I think in a lot of recipes they do toasted walnuts. Now, it's really a personal opinion. Oh, these are way, way too brown. So what I'm going to do is turn this way down. They are almost burnt. So I'm going to just have to turn this way, way down. Have a look. I want them golden, but that's probably one step too far. So let me turn that down to low. Do I start again is the question. Let's see, I think I might have to. You know what, I think it's okay. But I've turned it down and we're not going to cook those anymore. Borderline. Okay. These are great. I'm going to turn these now. Okay, so what I like to do is to squish them down a bit so that the fat part of the thigh sort of gets squashed and gets pressed open, and it just helps cook it a bit better. What I can also do here is just put the lid on for 5 minutes, because that'll help it. Now, do I start again with these onions? This is the question. Let's have a look. I think so. I think we need to start again. What do you think? Yep, so while the chicken's cooking, I'm going to do one more onion. I just got overexcited and just cooked them too fast, too quickly. Impatience is not a good element of cooking. What do you think? I mean, look, they are quite delicious. I'm going to cook another onion. We've got time. I'm also going to set this so the steam comes out. Yep. Look, maybe I will use them. I could just sit here and eat onions all day. What's going to happen is I'm going to eat all the onions and I'm going to have to do another batch anyway. Let's do another batch. All right. Let's move the pear over. And let me grab myself another onion. Okay, so the pan is on. I'm going to try it one more time. this is what happens. You know, I was concentrating on the chicken, the pan was too hot, and that's what happens. And it happens to all of us all the time. So the moral of the story is always have more onions than you need, or don't make a video while you're cooking, or just pay attention. Okay. So that's a good lesson also. It's the heat was just too high. So again, I'm slicing the onions. Third time lucky, as we say. Okay. Concentrating again. Olive oil in the pan. There you go. Oil. Onion. Okay, I've got it now on medium. I started on high last time and it was just too hot. Let's see how our chicken's going. Okay, good, that's cooking nicely. So, I'm happy with how that looks. Okay, now I'm going to let it keep cooking. I'm going to switch these because these have been cooking raw chicken, and I'm going to get another pair of tongs because the chicken is now just about cooked. All right. So we have everything ready, and now we're just going to wait. I'm going to add a bit of salt again to the onions. I'm going to fry the onions again. Beautiful. All right. I'm going to switch these around. Because I want to have a better look at the chicken. It's looking great. With thighs, you need to make sure, with any chicken, you need to make sure it's cooked properly all the way through. And I'm really happy with how that's looking. So that can just sit there quietly on low. Back to these onions. Actually, you know, this one is soft and squishy on one side and burnt on the other. So yum. Not to say these onions are bad, but they're not what I want. They're too burnt for the salad. But you know what? They're bloody delicious to eat. So if you've burnt your onions like I have, you can just sit and eat them. I'm going to keep the good ones. There are a few good ones here. All right. I should really call this video Let's Eat Burnt Onions with Lisa, because that's what we're doing. They're actually not all terrible. Just some of them. How much do I love fried onions? Yeah, that was a rhetorical question. Who loves onions as much as me? Send me a message if you do. Tell me you're with me. All right. I'm just picking out the good ones. And the rest I will eat for lunch today. Because they're absolutely delicious. All right. Chicken, let me just do one final check. I think is cooked. Let's have a look. Yeah. Okay, chicken's cooked through. So the chicken can go off the heat. And it can just sit there till we're ready. Back to the onions. All right. So now we're going to cook the onions till they are perfect. All right, I'm going to show you perfect onions. So this time I am keeping an eye on the onions, okay? And I'm going to stand here and watch them and make sure they don't burn. I want them to be golden brown and not burnt, okay? That's what I'm looking for. And it's going to take about 10 minutes or so to get them where I want them to be. And while I'm waiting for the onions to cook, I'm going to chop up the chicken for the salad. Now you can, of course, tear the chicken or you can chop it up as you wish. Okay. So I'm just going to cut it like this. I want really big pieces. See, I'm cutting across the grain there, and that's it. So I'm just going to chop that up. Okay, my onions are going nicely. Chicken's delicious. So good. Those the thighs are just so amazingly juicy. Just so good. Sorry, chicken breasts, but thighs win here. Okay. Great, so the chicken's done. Yum. I'm going to put them onto the board. I'm just going to pop it on top of the stove because it's hot. All right. Move that out of the way. All right. So, remember I said earlier I have one serving bowl, which I'm going to serve it in, and one mixing bowl. So let's start with the mixing bowl because it's always easier to toss your salad in a big mixing bowl rather than in the serving bowl. I mean, sort of, you know, doing that. So let's put that in. I'm going to put the pear in. I'm going to put the feta in. Reserve a little bit, okay, just to sprinkle on the top, but I want it very well mixed through. This is the sort of salad, though, you only dress when you're about to serve it because the rocket just wilts. The onions are warm, it's going to wilt even more. So it's really something to be tossed and eaten straight away. And now I'm going to add the onions, which are still probably a little bit warm, but at least they're not burnt. And I'm going to add most of the chicken, not all. I'm going to put in some walnuts. Okay, and I'm going to toss this through. Just want everything well combined. I'm going to dress it now in this bowl. I'll start with some olive oil. Some lemon juice. Tiny bit of salt, because remember we've already salted the chicken and the onions. And lots of black pepper. Give it one more toss. Yum. It's looking fabulous, smelling fabulous. Yum. Very, very good. And this is just going to go into my serving bowl like this. Good effort. Perhaps my day's not going as well as I wanted. But this is really how it happens, so that's okay. I'm okay if you're okay. Okay, everything into the bowl. Let's pick up all this mess I've made. All right. That's it. It looks really great. And now I'm just going to, before serving, you can see the salad. Before serving, I'm going to put the last bit of chicken on top. I always like to see, for some reason, like the meat and the last bit of meat and cheese and nuts on the top, just so you can really see what's in this salad. And the feta, a bit more on top. And let's finish with some walnuts. I don't know if I said it before I started to say it before, that a lot of recipes call for toasted walnuts. Personally, I like them raw, but if you like the flavour of toasted walnuts, then you just toast them gently in the oven on a moderate temperature for about 15 minutes, and they just get this toasty flavour. But if the walnuts are not 100% fresh, I find that the oils come out and it gets more of a rancid flavour. So it's not my thing, but if it's your thing, please go ahead. Anyway, here is my salad. Of course, I'm going to taste it again and season it when it's in that bowl, which I didn't do. But I'm going to taste it now because it just looks so delicious. And I'm ready to just dig into this whole bowl. I'll need to find a friend though, because I am here on my own today. Who's going to share it with me? It is delicious. You know, sometimes those rocket leaves are hard to chew and swallow, but I've done it now. So this is a great salad. I call it the blue-orange salad, named after the cafe where I first ate it. It's got rocket, char-grilled chicken or fried chicken, pear, feta, fried onions, not burnt onions, and walnuts. And it is a great salad. Remember, dress it just as soon as you're about to eat it. And that is my salad. If you love it, let me know in the comments. Hope you enjoy it. See you next time.